and you can write down if you have any questions, and you can answer them. Okay?
Thank you, Richard and Marga, for being our moderators for Q&A today.
What are some cases where men have been harassed, and how did Hollaback address it? So, not just women.
What are some cases where men have been harassed? There's one story on our site that comes to mind. There was someone walking through the subway and 외국 놈, like there's no, I'm sorry. You know, it's funny when I say it in Korean, it doesn't sound so impolite to me. Then when I go to say it in English, I'm like, oh, this is really impolite word. Like, you know, kind of foreign jerk or foreign asshole. Like this kind of thing, like being, you know, yelled at him as he's walking through the subway, I guess is one example that comes to mind. Although some of our allies at, you know, in the queer community have not shared their stories to the site yet, I've observed transgender men being verbally harassed on the street. And I've also, you know, we've seen in the media some examples. I mean, I think the most famous one now might be the wedding last year between, you know, the quite famous film director.
Gwangju.
Right, yes, and in his wedding, the horrible kind of defaming attack on their public ceremony, I think would be another example. So again, you know, this is a movement and a space that's safe for everyone. It tends to be that generally women and girls are targeted more frequently for harassment, but these are all important issues, and oftentimes men that are in some way are not conforming to like a certain idea of masculinity or based on race are also targeted. So we want to raise awareness about that issue as well and welcome these members also to our community. Thanks for the question.
Have you ever had any problems with lawsuits or anything for staff?
Yeah, this is a good question, and actually this is a peculiarity of our site. On a lot of the other Hollaback sites in other 71 cities and 24 countries, they'll actually show the face of the harasser, but due to Korean libel law, we have to blur the face. And we also have to blur the name of the business. So that's how we don't get lawsuits.
I was just wondering, I'm like, how does that happen? I mean, how are you able to get their picture up?
Yeah, we blur their face and the name of the business because under Korean law, if we didn't do that, technically we could be accused of libel because there hasn't been a decided court case about this. So that's a way that we don't get lawsuits. So that also means when you share the picture to us, sometimes it takes a day or so for us to upload it because we moderate everything. We actually remove references in the posts themselves that refer to race or could be homophobic in nature. Sometimes, you know, even the person who's harassed, when they type out the message, you know, they include some language that we have to remove in order to respect all of our community members. So that's why we have a moderated site. Great question.
Have you tried any schools to promote consciousness against harassment?
I'm sorry?
Have you tried schools to promote?
Schools, would you like to talk about efforts at school level?
Yeah. Last month we had 4 classes at Dongguk University in Seoul. We shared a story about sexual harassment in campus and also gave them practical tips to prevent and or report the issues.
And this coming Monday, we're going to also visit 4 classrooms here in Gwangju to give a similar kind of presentation. So we really appreciate the teachers and wonderful supporters who invite us into their classroom space. So thank you very much, and we're happy to do that in the future. So contact us if you have an interest.
Is there a significant difference of harassment between Korean and maybe other countries?
I think this is such a great question because I really don't think there is. This is a global issue, I mean, the specific words or, you know, the specific context might differ. I mean, of course, in, you know, in some other country, maybe there's not a subway system, for example, so there's going to be the localness of it. But this is something going on everywhere. All around the globe, you know, women and men are being targeted for harassment. Homosexuals and people based on the color of their skin and other factors are being targeted for harassment. So in that sense, Korea isn't unique, and you know we work hard to promote that message because if it was a different message, how could Korean members comfortably participate in the project, right? You know, it's important to spread the word that this isn't something specifically picking on Korea, and I think the fact that we're operating in 24 different countries reflects that. Anything you'd like to add about it? Great, thank you for that question. Good one.
That's it for the questions. Anything else?
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much for helping us highlight some additional